everybody. Welcome back to the CrownHoops Podcast. My name is Jordan Daly. With me this week, we have the full crew with Mike White, Stacey Collier, and Ben Okazawa. Say what's up, guys.
What's going on? Let's do it.
Yeah.
We are on to episode number 41 now. Not much has happened NBA-wise since we last recorded. So this one, we're going to have some fun. We have a couple good debates planned. Of course, a mystery player debate at the end of the episode. So let's get right into it. Before we start with the debates, one thing we do with the writers on our team for the website CrownHoops.com, whenever we get a new writer in, we always ask them things like, what's your favorite team? Who's your favorite player? And of course, we have to end it with, what is your biggest hot take? And that's one thing we didn't do at the beginning of this podcast. We kind of just said favorite team, favorite players. We never did the hot take, I don't think. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Stacey, I'm going to start with you. What's your biggest hot take?
My biggest hot take. I'm not the guy for this, but I only got a few up in my arsenal, in my sleeve. My biggest hot take is I don't think James Harden is the player to lead a team to the NBA Finals. I don't think he's going to get a ring.
Interesting. Why do you think that?
I think James Harden is that type of player where regular season, fantastic, going to put up numbers, but something about the postseason that doesn't translate well. And I don't see him as like a real strong leader. I think he's like that more play by example type player. I don't see him as like an emotional leader, gather the team up. Now, I'm glad that Russell Westbrook is on the team because Russell Westbrook is more that type of guy, but with Harden leading the way in charge and scoring and making all the plays, it just doesn't translate to championship aspirations. Look what happened, for example, against the Warriors that one year. They were up 3-2. They should have won. They should have beat the Warriors that year, but they didn't. And James Harden shot terrible. And the matter of fact, the whole team shot terrible. Remember, they was 0 for 27 from 3. What was that, Game 7, I believe? So
Game 6. That was Game 6, I think.
Yeah, one of those games. Either way, it just didn't win, and I don't think James Harden is that type of player to lead the team to the NBA Finals, and he has to be the leader, the first option on the team. Therefore, I don't think that he's going to win an NBA championship in his career.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. It's tough. I mean, he's such a good player, so like as a fan of the NBA, I feel like most people want to see him get a ring, but at the same time, like, there are a lot of haters out there, so I won't speak for everyone. All right, moving on. Mike, what is your hot take?
All right, here goes my biggest hot take. To me, I mean, like a lot of people might not think it's a hot take, but for me, it's a hot take. I think Kobe and Shaq, if they could have just maintained a better relationship, could have went down as the best duo of all time. Now, I know a lot of people might already have them as number one, but most people probably have Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. I think if their relationship stays the same, even though they did lose to Detroit in 2004, I think as we saw what kind of player Kobe became, Shaq still in the dominant peak, the draw of the Lakers able to bring good players, I think they could have won more than 6 championships. So I think if just the relationship part could have been good, that could have been the best duo of all time. So that's my hot take.
Okay. So what has it happened? Where do you have them ranked now for the best duo of all time?
As far as duos, they got to be second, man. They got to be second just because, actually, now I'm thinking about it. So you got Jordan and Pippen for sure. Mm-hmm. But then I just thought about Magic and Kareem in my head, and I'm like, third. I'm gonna give him third. I'm gonna put him the third best duo of all time right now. I got Magic and Kareem, Jordan and Pippen above him though.
Okay, that's respectable. I like that.
I give him third.
All right, moving on. Ben, what is your biggest hot take?
So my biggest hot take is that 2011 OKC Thunder team, KD, Russ, James Harden, I don't think that if they had stayed together, I don't think they would have been able to win a ring.
Wow. Okay.
Speak on it. Up. Yeah.
So I just think, like, obviously all three of them now, incredible individual players, and Russ and KD, played well together after Harden had left and kind of led the Thunder to some Western Conference Finals appearances after that one championship appearance against the Heat. But I don't think if the three of them had stayed together, obviously James Harden would never have been able to reach the level of player that he is today. And I'm not sure with the way that he was growing in OKC that he would have been happy staying in that kind of role player, third option role there. Even at that time, Russ wasn't at his peak. He kind of needed Harden to leave to open up his game. And, KD would have been by far the first option on that team, kind of carrying. And I'm not sure that would have been enough to get past the LeBron Heat or even the Warriors once Curry, Clay, Draymond, Iggy had kind of developed into the team that they were when they went to the championship in 2015. So.
Yeah, I would pretty much agree with you. I feel like it's really hard to make teams work with that much talent because, someone's not going to get the ball as much as they want, and it's definitely going to stunt development, as you mentioned. But yeah, it's tough because they've always been looked at as like one of the biggest what ifs in the NBA. Like, what if they stayed together? It's crazy. But yeah, I agree with that. What do you guys think, Stacey and Mike?
Go ahead, Stacey.
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that because eventually, even if they stay together longer, eventually somebody was gonna leave, and we saw the reason why Harden left. Look how much he got paid from the Houston Rockets. That should tell you right there. And then with the way Westbrook was becoming, he was becoming that get out the way type player, and KD he became like he tried to be a villain or whatever. They probably would have had butt heads at some point. So I agree with that.
It's hard to say a team would have won a championship. I think if they would have stayed together, they would have at least made another finals appearance. It's just when you got KD, really the Thunder should have beat the Warriors when they were up 3-1. They let Clay get hot. They let them come back. So, if James Harden just gives you something, because if you guys remember, he had a bad finals against the Heat. So, if James Harden gives you something in one of those years, I just got to believe they're talented enough. Serge Ibaka, when he was a little bit younger, could get to the finals. So, it's definitely a hot take. I don't know. I'm a side closer to them winning a championship than not winning one, just because of how much talent they have.
Okay. Speaking of biggest what ifs in the NBA, my hot take has gotten me the weirdest looks sometimes. My hot take is that if Derrick Rose never gets hurt, he's up there in the GOAT conversation. That is my hot take.
Maybe.
I don't think so.
Nah, the GOAT. You talking about like the GOAT? We talking about like.
I'm not saying he would have been the GOAT. I'm saying he would have been in the conversation.
I don't know.
He would have been in the conversation. If you guys look back to his rookie year and then his MVP year, he was insane. No one had that athleticism, and the fact that he would just put guys on posters night after night, and that was not something. That was kind of the beginning of the era where we saw, more like aerial point guards like that, the Russell Westbrooks of the NBA. That was kind of the beginning of all that. I just feel like he had a chance to do something very, very, very special. And I'm not saying he's not a good player anymore. He really is. He's picked it up. If you look at his numbers from, starting in Minnesota and now in Detroit, he is a very good player still.
Right.
He's definitely not the same player. Yeah, he's definitely changed his game and adjusted. But I think if he never got hurt, he had a chance.
For me, I think if he had never been hurt, even the once, I think he would be more in the AI D Wade type area than GOAT. So I think he would be top 25 all time type thing.
Yeah.
As opposed to
I'll take it,
top 3 to 5 all time.
Youngest ever to win an MVP though. Just saying,
we a very impressive.
We didn't get to see his full potential. That's what I'm saying. I think he would have kept growing. I think he would have been something special.
How many rings does he win in the East with LeBron though?
Oh, 0. I'll tell you that.
That's the thing though. Individually, his stats was going to be there. Just like, okay, Russell Westbrook's stats are there no matter what. But how many rings was he going to win? Especially with LeBron in the East. Then he went to the Heat. I mean, that's the only thing I could see hurt him, moving him up in the GOAT conversation is the ring thing. Would he have a good enough team around him in Chicago? Because they were good. But would they be able to take out LeBron? I don't know.
I don't think so either. But the question comes is, would he have stayed in Chicago?
That's true too.
I lean more towards yes. I don't know if you guys saw the documentary on him. I think it's called Pooh. Definitely recommend it. By the way, they caught the moment. They were like filming the documentary when he found out he got traded.
Okay.
So much emotion. Holy crap.
Oh yeah.
Definitely watch that though.
Yeah, well, I mean, because he's from Chicago, right? So
I
think he would have stayed his whole career if he had.
Oh yeah, he definitely would have.
Yeah.
Definitely watch that documentary though. I think it's on Stadium. I don't know. I could be wrong, but definitely go check that out. That's my hot take though. I guess we'll move on from our hot takes. We'll probably get roasted in the comments. Oh well. Speaking of getting roasted, we put a social media post out this past week that had one guy just furious that we even posted it to begin with, and he never even said his opinion on it. He didn't say where he was siding. He just kind of roasted us. But it was a graphic we found. It was prime Dwight Howard versus current Anthony Davis. Who do you take? From the most retweets, Facebook comments, and all that, it was honestly pretty split. But I feel like the people that took AD, they would always say, why is this even a question? It's AD. But the people that would take Dwight would be like, oh, yeah, it's Dwight because of this, and this. So it was interesting to see how different people would react. And I'd always look at their profiles and be like, all right, this guy's a diehard Laker fan. That kind of makes sense. So I guess, Mike, I'm going to start with you on this one.
Starting with me. Okay, prime Dwight versus current AD, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give me prime Dwight. I'm taking prime Dwight.
Really?
You could build a team around prime Dwight and get to the finals. We've seen it. AD's had a team for 7, 8 years. The farthest he got out of that round was I think they won one playoff series while he was there.
Yeah, they just got one.
They beat the Blazers or something.
Right. So I'm taking prime Dwight. Defensively, I mean, if you want to call it a push between him and AD, I mean, prime Dwight is athletic Dwight, and he's switching out. He's guarding the basket. He's a backside defender. He can do everything I think AD could do. And again, I'm saying in his prime now. Obviously, I know AD is much more skilled. He can shoot from the mid-range, but Dwight had a couple years where, until I think these last 3 years, Dwight had a couple years where he was up there in points of 20-plus points. He also averaged way more rebounds than him. Blocks are kind of similar. Field goal percentage is kind of similar. AD's a better shooter, obviously, but with as much as Dwight brought on the defensive end, I mean, think about it. Everybody thought LeBron and Kobe was meeting in the finals that year. And Orlando, outside of LeBron hitting that game winner, Orlando pretty much handled the Cavaliers. And I mean, if you put the right team around Dwight Howard, you're there. Obviously, with AD, you could say he didn't have the right team. Actually, let me bring up this one point. Health. Before he started getting hurt, Dwight Howard was playing up to 80 games a year. AD, I can't say the same for him. So, again, I'm prefacing it. In his prime, I'm taking Dwight Howard. I'm taking Dwight.
Okay. Stacey, who you taking, prime Dwight or current AD?
This was tougher than I thought, but I'm going to slide it to AD. I'm gonna slide to AD, and AD just more versatile than Dwight in my opinion. He can dribble the ball, he can shoot in the mid range, he can still play defense, he can still dominate down low, block shots, etc. See, the problem with prime Dwight was he had little to zero post moves, and that haunted him against some teams. Now, I know, like Mike said, he did pave the way for the Magic to go to the NBA Finals, but when you are limited in the post and you just try to get by on athleticism, somebody's going to figure you out at some point, and then that's why I'm going to take AD in this argument. AD is more versatile. You could put him anywhere. He can guard 3, 4, and 5 just like prime Dwight could. But Dwight not having those post moves. And I always thought Dwight Howard during those days, the Orlando Magic days, he could have put up even more points if he had that post game. But
right.
He never worked on it. He never worked on it. Dwight easily, if he had a post game, he easily could have been 25 and 15. Easy.
Okay.
So, but I'm going to take AD in this.
Because of the versatility?
Yeah, because of the versatility and the post moves and etc.
Okay. Ben, what about you?
I mean, it is really hard. I think AD is more equipped to dominate and just in general to play in today's league. But if we're talking 2008 Dwight, that was Magic Dwight was a top, I would say, 3 to 5 player in the league. And I don't know if you can say the same for AD right now. He could be that, but I think playing second fiddle to LeBron this year, I would take prime Dwight. Yeah, I would take prime Dwight just because, like Mike said, the defense, he could actually lead his team to a championship. And it's not like he had an incredible team around him either. He had good players. He had solid, like Jameer Nelson, Rasheed Lewis, whatever. But Rashard Lewis, yeah, sorry. But it wasn't like his team was stacked, you know what I mean? And he made the finals and put up somewhat of a fight. So I would take Dwight.
Yeah, Stacey, sorry to do this to you. I'm with Mike and Ben on this one. Definitely prime Dwight. I would agree AD is definitely the more versatile player out of the two. Being able to have a big man that can shoot a three now is kind of a necessity in my opinion. But Dwight was just, he was a freak of nature. Like, no one mentioned how insanely good this guy was at dunking either. Just want to throw that out there. That's my favorite thing. But yeah, definitely prime Dwight. And like Mike said, AD had his own team for years and didn't really do anything. Got one playoff series win, which is almost sad in a way. I mean, obviously he didn't have the best team, but neither did Dwight, and Dwight was able to do some damage in the playoffs a couple times. So I'm definitely going Dwight on this one. So that guy on Twitter, I have no idea what you're talking about. I still want to know which way he was leaning.
That Magic team back then led by Dwight, that was pretty versatile. They had some versatile players, like you mentioned Rashard Lewis, Jameer Nelson was a hard-nosed point guard. Turkoglu. Yeah, I was just about to bring on Hedo Turkoglu. He caused them matched up problems. They had a pretty good team. I think they was top 3 in the East at that time too. So Dwight had a good team around him. I can't say the same for AD. Like we was talking about the one playoff series that they won by AD. Was there? Guess who they had? They had Rondo and they had DeMarcus Cousins. He never had that almost the whole time he was with New Orleans. So we never seen AD as full with talent around him. Now look at him with the Lakers. Look how he doing with the Lakers. So
we can't use the Lakers. He got LeBron next to him.
That's the thing is, can he be the number one player on a team?
Yeah, but he's still putting up numbers with LeBron next to him. Though.
That's true. See that was my one question. Even before the season started, I remember when we was talking last year before the trade went down. Is AD worth 4 players? Can he be that guy? And I'm gonna be honest. During this season, there's been nights where he's looked like he could be that guy, but there's been other nights where I'll just be like, yo, where is he at? Especially those first 2 games against the Clippers. Especially the first opening night game, when you come out in the second half and don't put up a bucket. It's just little things like that bother me. But that's the coach in me coming out. My bad. That's me. That's me. That's coming out. But I don't know. I mean, I like AD. He's great. Obviously, he's way more skilled than Dwight. I like my centers to be able to just dominate, on the defensive end. And I just feel like he was more dominant on the defensive end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Dwight was the Superman. I feel like AD compared to Dwight is he's the sidekick. That's my opinion. Sorry to do it to you, Stacey. I don't know. Is it though? I don't know. Yeah, he didn't have the best team in New Orleans, but I don't know. I feel like he's still not the number one guy in LA. That's definitely still LeBron's team. I feel like he needed someone better than him to kind of facilitate his game. That's my thought. All right. let's move on to another social media post we put up that was debating. It was a start one, bench one, cut one between Devin Booker, D'Angelo Russell, and Donovan Mitchell. Ben, we're going to start with you this time.
This is tough. This is actually tough. These are all kind of shooting guard, point guard type players, young guys. I think I would start Donovan Mitchell, bench Devin Booker, and cut D'Angelo Russell. And it was tough to cut D'Lo, especially because I loved watching him in Brooklyn last season. But he hasn't had as many strong seasons as these guys have had. He's not as good of a shooter as Devin Booker, and he's not as explosive as Donovan Mitchell. Reason I'm starting Donovan Mitchell over Devin Booker is just because he's been the leader on an actual playoff team, and Devin Booker has been a leader on a really, really bad team for about 5 or 6 seasons, however long he's been in the league. But I think Devin Booker is probably the most successful in terms of stats among these 3 guys, but Donovan Mitchell has actually been the best player on a playoff team, which Devin Booker can't say. D'Angelo Russell can say for last season with the Nets, but they didn't go very far. They weren't much of a threat, whereas the Jazz this year, last year, have been consistently one of the teams to watch out West. So for me, I would have to take that playoff experience over Devin Booker's kind of raw talent, I guess. So like I said, I'm going to start Donovan Mitchell, bench Devin Booker, and cut my guy D'Lo.
Okay. Stacey, start one, bench one, cut one.
Okay, I think the cut is easy out of this. D'Angelo Russell getting cut. He getting cut. He's just not on these 2 players' levels. These 2 players can be considered like top 10, 12, 15. I don't think D'Angelo Russell is on that level. And like Ben said, he only had like one standout season so far. So that's easy. Now, my start and my bench is different. I'm starting Devin Booker, and I'm benching Donovan Mitchell. The reason why I'm starting Devin Booker is because he's had more experience and fared better as, playing that 2-guard role. Like, he's ran point with the Phoenix Suns, and actually before the season got canceled, he actually averaged 6.6 assists per game, and Donovan Mitchell is like in the low 4s. So the passing, as far as Devin Booker, is there. And then I look at Donovan Mitchell as more of an explosive player, and you're going to need that off the bench. You're going to need somebody that's going to come off the bench and score like 20 to 25 points in a flash. And that's Donovan Mitchell for me. But I think Devin Booker's skill set is more equipped to start a game and run a team and get everybody in place while getting his at the same time. So I'm starting Devin Booker, benching Donovan Mitchell, and I'm cutting D'Lo.
Okay. Mike, start one, bench one, cut one.
All right. So like Stacey said, D'Lo, much love for you, brother, but you're getting cut right now. My start and my bench is the same as Stacey's. I'm starting D-Book. I'm benching Donovan Mitchell. Simply because I just think, even though Donovan Mitchell has been to the playoffs, he's impressed me in the playoffs. He's shown he can lead a team. He can score. He's very explosive. I'm still going to go D-Book because at the 2 spot, I just like a consistent bucket. And I know I'm going to get that from Devin Booker, a guy who can knock down open threes off the jumper, who can create for others. Not saying that Donovan Mitchell can't shoot, because we've seen him hit big shots before, but I just need that consistent bucket. Devin Booker is definitely that. And like Stacey said, he can create for others. We've already seen him do that. So I'm going to go with Devin Booker.
To start, okay, who are you benching?
Benching D. Mitchell.
And you're cutting
D'Lo.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. For me, I've been debating this as you guys have been talking, and I've been listening to everything you guys are saying because I've been thinking about this for like the past 2 nights. It is tough, though. I hate to be the one to be different, but I'm going to be.
Go ahead.
All right. I am starting Donovan Mitchell. I am benching D'Angelo Russell, and I am cutting Devin Booker.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm gonna make things steamy a little bit. Okay, so for Donovan Mitchell, same reason as Ben. He's the proven playoff guy. He has the experience under his belt. Yeah, I think it's only his third year in the league, but I mean, on paper, he's done more than all the other guys in this list. So I'm going with him. The reason I am cutting Devin Booker, I feel like his first few seasons in the league, he was a very, very good player, known for his three-point percentage. That has gone down tremendously. I don't know if you guys have been like paying attention to that. I think he's shooting like 35 from deep. 35-5 from deep, which is obviously, I mean, it's respectable, but it's not as good as it once was. I think there was one season where he had it at 38%, which is a little bit higher. I think he's also one of the most like losing players in NBA history. I think he has a win percentage of like 26%. Obviously, that's not his fault. That is with the team. He doesn't really have anyone. But compared to the other two players, I mean, I'm going to take a winner on my team. You know, D'Angelo Russell took over a wounded Nets team, and they were kind of like the Cinderella story of the playoffs last year, I feel like. We saw him in clutch moments. The dude's a winner. Obviously, it's tough. I think Devin Booker is a very, very skilled player. I personally just think, and I hate to say it because I do like Devin Booker a lot, I just think he's a little overrated now. If you asked me this 2 years ago, I would have started Devin Booker. Now, not so much. I need to see him do more. So that is my thought on that.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not even mad at the take. I'm not. I mean, Devin Booker, he gets a lot of praise, and I understand he's been on the Suns. I get it, but I mean, I get people desiring more. I get it. I understand it a little bit. I do.
Drake put him in a song.
Wet like I'm booked.
Devin Booker's in one of the most popular songs 2018. We couldn't
like I'm booked.
Johnny Manziel's in a song too by Drake. So I mean,
oh man,
that's different.
Mike's got a point there. Where's J Money now?
J Money.
All right, we will move on. But I will say J Money is like one of my favorite players of all time. Moving on. Another thing we saw on Facebook recently, it was a picture that says, you are the captain of your streetball team. Who do you take first? There was a picture. It had LeBron, Kawhi, and Durant, but I'm going to open it up to anyone currently in the NBA. Maybe it's one of those. I don't know. But if you're a streetball captain, who are you taking first for your team? Stacey, I'm going to start with you this time.
Got to go with Kyrie Irving. You got to go with Kyrie Irving. Look, we talking, look, Jordan, look on your face. Watch this. We talking street ball here. Street ball. You got to have handles. You got to be able to hit shots off the dribble. You got to be able to create. And there's not many players in the NBA that's more creative than Kyrie Irving, especially with the handles. I think he got the best handles in the NBA, and that's going to get you far in street ball. So why not take Kyrie in this conversation first? I'm taking Kyrie.
So what happens in the middle of the game when he decides the aliens are probably going to invade, so he has to go run away and go home?
Come on.
Oh, man. That's not going to happen in the middle of a game.
Anything is possible with Kyrie, man. I don't put anything past him anymore.
Maybe after the game, he could think about aliens. But during the game.
All right. Yeah, maybe he'll make his own streetball league. Mike.
All right, well, that was going to be my pick, Stacey. I'm not mad at that pick. It's street ball. I'm not going to go with the normal, the Kawhi, LeBron. I'm not going to even go there. I'm going with another guy who's one of the most creative players in the NBA, James Harden. We talking street ball? James Harden's the best isolation player in the league, arguably, right now. Hey, we may call it a travel, but all that step back left, all that step back right, all them Euros, them layups, hey, that shit work. That's going to work on the court. So I'm going with James Harden.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good reason. I can respect that one. Ben.
Yeah, I was going to go Harden, but since Mike already snagged him, I'm taking the best player in the NBA, and to me, that's Kevin Durant when healthy. Stacey said three things. Handles, Chet. Shot off the dribble. You've seen him in the finals knocking down daggers from 3 steps outside the 3-point line. to basically seal the chip for his team. And what was the last thing? He can get wherever he wants on the court. Arguably a 7-footer. I mean, that's not how he's listed, but we've seen the pictures. I'd say he's 7 feet. He's long. He can do whatever he wants. So, I mean, to me, and he can defend. I mean, I know defense isn't the most valuable aspect in a street ball game, but still need to stop people from getting buckets and score them too. So for me, Kevin Durant.
Okay. I took a different approach from you guys on this one.
Taco Fall.
No, not that extreme. Not that extreme. All right. So I went for some fighters. All right. I couldn't pick one. I have a couple. All right. I got the Marcus Smarts, the Pat Bevs, the Lou Will, the Morris brothers, any of those guys right there. Game's over. Durant's going to be flopping around the court against those guys. Kyrie's going to be too afraid to go against his old teammates. James Harden will do pretty good. I can't argue that one. James Harden will do pretty good, but there'll be some fight on the courts. Put JR in there. Game.
Fouls. That's what's going to be on the court. It's going to be a lot of fouls right
There's
there.
No fouls on the streets.
It's fouls. Nah.
Oh man, had to mix it up. You guys pretty much took all mine. So I was like running in my head. I was like, all right, pick someone. Yeah. So I went with that. I went with the street team. Go for it. We'll move on from that. Stacey wanted to talk about the Knicks head coaching search. Someone passed that over to him.
Oh yeah, here we go again. New York Knicks, they back in the news, not for playing basketball. They looking for another head coach again. All right, so it's been reported that the Lakers have given the New York Knicks permission to talk to none other than Jason Kidd, Hall of Fame point guard, who's the assistant coach with the Lakers, and also the Knicks are interested in former Cleveland Cavaliers head coach Mike Brown. So the Knicks are looking for the next head coach. It looks like they're looking for a veteran, looking for somebody who has experience with the team, who has success. You know, Mike Brown, he did coach LeBron and the rest of the Cavaliers in the NBA Finals. Jason Kidd been to the playoffs with the Bucks. So it looks like the Knicks are trying to right the ship as they trying to fix their terrible, terrible organization. So what do you guys think about the head coach search? Should they go with Jason Kidd? Should they go with Mike Brown? Should they go somewhere else? Let's start with the man, the boss, Jordan. What you got for us?
Go with Kidd. Yeah, I would like to see that. I mean, I think he's more of a player's coach because obviously he was a player himself. I think the Knicks are in a tough position. They basically need to just build up from the ground and start over, in my opinion. It's tough. I mean, I feel like at this point, obviously their owner is not loved by anyone in that organization anymore. So I feel like you just get a head coach that, you know, the players can get along with and the players will respect. I think that'll go a long way. Sorry.
All right, so we got one vote for Jason Kidd. Mike, what's your take on it?
Jason Kidd need to stay with the Lakers another year. I'm gonna go with Mark Jackson. I'm still going Mark Jackson for the Knicks. Look, this organization has been losing for quite a few years now. Mark Jackson, we saw what he did with the Golden State Warriors. You bring him in to change the culture. You got young players there, so hopefully he can, you know, help bring them up. They got the #1 pick next year. They got a new president. I think you bring Mark Jackson in, time to turn it around, help the Knicks change the culture, and at least be viable in the East. The Knicks should at least be making the playoffs in that bottom 4 seeds in the East. There's no excuse for that. They've got talent. They got R.J. Barrett. They've got cap room. They've got the #1 pick. There's a lot of people who think it's LaMelo Ball. So I mean, I think the Knicks are specifically on the right track as of right now. I think they're making the right moves. So I think it's Mark Jackson. I think he's the guy you need to bring in there to start getting things on the right path.
Here's my thing about that. How many years are we going to hear Mark Jackson's name come up and he doesn't take a job? Like
that ain't our fault. They gotta hire the man. Like
I don't understand. His name come up on every single head coaching search for every team that's looking for one, and he doesn't get the job or he doesn't take it. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Maybe he wants to win. Stay with a winning team.
Shoot, maybe. I don't understand how you go from flipping the Warriors, melting that team to just nothing, nothing at all. So, I mean.
That's what I'm saying. Like, nobody wants this man. I mean, that's okay. All right. Ben, what you think? Jason Kidd, Mike Brown, or you got another name for the Knicks?
I'm just going to start my little segment of this off by saying if I'm a head coach in the NBA or a head coaching prospect, I would not even interview with the Knicks until James Dolan either quits or gets fired. Can he get fired? Who would even fire him? I don't know. But if James Dolan is with the Knicks, I don't want to be with the Knicks. Just seems like such a messy organization, such a terrible environment to work in. And I don't think I would have the freedom to make that team better. I think it would be really hard to make that team better with him still there. But either way, I didn't really have an answer for this from the start, so I'm just going to piggyback off Mike's. I think Mark Jackson kind of laid the groundwork in Golden State. I mean, Steve Kerr gets a lot of the credit for it, but Mark Jackson really did kind of set them up for success. So I would love to see him with young talent again and to see what he can do, if he can kind of maybe not build another dynasty, but kind of turn around another losing organization.
And I'm glad that you said that about the Knicks and them being a terrible organization, because that's why I'm rolling with Mike Brown as the right choice. Look, we already know who Mike Brown used to be the coach of. It doesn't get no worse. It doesn't get no worse than the Cavaliers. I mean, my goodness, they right there at the bottom of the worst franchises in the NBA. He's already used to excuse my language here, a shitty environment. So, so he already know what headaches come with that, and he's a veteran head coach. Jason Kidd, I would love Jason Kidd to be a head coach, but I don't think he's ready right now. I think his tenure with the Bucks and how they ended proved that he's not quite ready to be a head coach. I think he should stay with Frank Vogel and the Lakers system for like a couple more years and then, go ahead on all to his own adventures. But I'm taking Mike Brown. But whoever gets that job, I wish you the best of luck. Make sure you get a lot of therapy and a lot of sleep, because you're going to need it. All right, so that was the end of the Knicks head coach search. Right now, we got the hot takes, and that's hosted by Ben. Ben, take us away.
All right, so this take is pretty hot, but for me, it was getting less and less warm as the season went on. So Brian Scalabrine, the White Mamba, undisputed GOAT of the NBA all time, says that Jason Tatum is a top 10 player in the league right now, which is tough. I mean, before the season started, he wasn't even in the top 15. And then he kind of progressed, broke out, had some incredible games, and was really building to something great before the season got shut down. So which is why this is kind of an acceptable take. But Mike, do you think Jason Tatum could be considered a top 10 player in the league right now?
I don't think Jason Tatum is top 10. I even went extra mile. I made my list. made my little list. I ain't gonna tell you the order, but basically I'm gonna say these are the guys I would take before Jason Tatum if we were just drafting. So obviously LeBron, Kawhi, Kevin Durant, Giannis, Steph Curry, James Harden, Anthony Davis. And then this is where it gets a little tricky. This is where we might have some different opinions, but I think we would agree those top would probably go against Jason Tatum. So you got Luka Doncic. I think he's above Jason Tatum. Damian Lillard, I think he's above Jason Tatum. And then somebody might disagree, but I think Joel Embiid is better than Jason Tatum. I think he brings more offensively. I think he brings more defensively. Now, Jason Tatum may be on the court more. Jason Tatum's also playing with 3 other 20-point scorers a game. So, I mean, that's just something to think about. But I think overall, if we're just looking at individually, not, chemistry and injury, if I'm just looking at the talent of the person, I think I would take those 10 guys for sure over Jason Tatum. So I don't think he's top 10. I do think he's top 15, no worse than that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Tatum had a breakout season, and to me, he became one of the top 2-3 players that I would want to build a team around at the moment. But I don't think he could be considered top 10. And I agree with all of the people that you put in front of him, maybe a couple more. I think he top 12, top 15. Stacey, do you think, just because I already know Jordan's answer, so I'll just ask him last. Stacey, do you think Jason Tatum?
Jordan, getting ready.
Jordan. Okay. We gonna say Jordan for a minute, but Jason Tatum. All right, he was top 10 hottest players in the NBA before the season got shut down. But is he a top 10 player in the NBA right now? No, I don't think he's top 10 player in the NBA right now. I think he's on the rise to become that. But all the people that Mike just named on the list, I would take those guys over Jason Tatum. Now, Joel Embiid might be arguable, but at the end of the day, I would take him slightly, but not right now. Not right now. But I think next season when we start fresh and everything, is where it's supposed to be, I think he will become a top 10 player in the NBA. He has that mentality.
For sure. No, I agree. All right, Jordan, go for it.
Take us home.
Nah, so I'm not going to give you guys the reaction you think I'm going to give you. It's tough. I mean, Mike, I pretty much agreed with your list for the most part, except for Joel Embiid.
Right.
Absolutely not. Opinions, though. It's tough, man. I mean, right now, like Ben was saying, like he's up there for like guys you want to build a team around, up there with, Luka Doncic. And I think, there is an argument to be there is, who's a better player, Luka or Tatum. I think at the beginning of the year, it would have been definitely Luka without hesitation. I think Tatum really proved himself this year. Onto the path of superstardom, which started with the game against the Clippers that went to double overtime. I don't know if you guys remember that when he hit the step back against Paul George. He's either 10 or 11 in my book. So, I mean, is it a hot take in my opinion? Not really. It's tough. Like, it depends. Like, top 10 lists are so, like, opinionated. Like, Mike's was pretty much baseline, like, accepted by most people. That's a solid top 10 list. Yeah, in my opinion, he's either 10 or 11. I think next year he has the chance to go top 5. That could be a hot take. I don't know. I think he has that chance. If he progresses again the way he did this year, the dude's don't get me too excited, guys. 10 or 11. So that's my thought on that.
Yeah, that's fair. But anyway, I called Skal the GOAT earlier. That was obviously a joke. Bit more serious conversation surrounding the all-time greatest NBA player. Karam Butler, in an Ask Me Anything with Bleacher Report, said that looking at statistics, he would say Kareem is the GOAT. And then when you look at kind of accolades and stuff like that, he thinks the conversation could shift to guys like LeBron James and Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. But he said, just looking purely at stats, Kareem is the GOAT. Jordan, who's your GOAT, and where do you have Kareem all time?
Okay, so my personal GOAT is Michael Jordan. It's tough. I've seen a lot of people tend to go with the big men for their conversation of the GOAT, so I can't really discredit that. Again, in my opinion, any GOAT list is also opinion. It can go either way, I think. I mean, you're definitely going to find a lot less people that'll say Kareem is the GOAT. It's pretty much usually either MJ or LeBron. But like I can respect his opinion on him saying Kareem is the GOAT. He definitely has a reason to be mentioned in that conversation. But in my personal opinion, no, Kareem is not the GOAT.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've got him like arguably top 2, definitely top 3 all time. I mean, he is the points leader of all time in the NBA. He's got the rings, got the MVPs, stuff like that. But Stacey, do you think Kareem could be considered the GOAT? And if not, who do you have?
I think Kareem nowadays gets lost in the shuffle in the GOAT conversation. We hear about Michael Jordan a lot. People trying to put LeBron James up there. People try to put Kobe up there. People talk about Wilt Chamberlain. Even people would talk about Bill Russell. And like Kareem kind of gets lost in that shuffle. And Kareem is definitely top 3, no less than 3 of all time. Trailblazer, literally changed the rules of college basketball. And he was just dominant. I think he played 19 years, and all 19 years he was an all-star. It doesn't get no much better than that. Now, my GOAT, my personal GOAT is Michael Jordan. And everybody's GOAT actually should be Michael Jordan. I think Michael Jordan is the undisputed number 1 player of all time. Far as me, where I got Kareem, I'll say right now for me, honestly, it's a battle between him and LeBron for number 2. But right now, I'll give Kareem number 2 just because LeBron's still playing. If LeBron want to hop over Kareem and even Michael Jordan, got to win the championship with the Lakers. If he does that, then we can talk about that. But I got Kareem number 2 as my personal GOAT of all time. But Michael Jordan is the GOAT, period.
There you go. Mike, what about you? Where do you have Kareem all time? Is Caron Butler kind of speaking out of his ass here?
Nah, I mean, Kareem has a very good argument to being the GOAT. Personally, victim of the year I was born, I saw nothing of Kareem at all. You know, I can only go off of what we see as old footage and what people say. But, I mean, I have him at number 2. That's what Kareem is for me. Michael Jordan is still definitely my GOAT. Easily. It's not even arguable. But, I mean, don't get it twisted. You see the dude on my shirt. So we can have that discussion another day. But for right now, I'm going to keep it here right now. But for right now, for this discussion, I have Kareem at number 2. But, I mean, Karan's not off. I mean, Kareem has 6 championships. Kareem won on every level. He's been the best player on the team. Unblockable shot. I mean, we know about Kareem, even though he doesn't get the respect that he deserves. So I'm not mad at the take. Right now, I have Kareem number 2. Jordan number 1, obviously, and if you care, LeBron number 3. So yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So I'll ask all you guys another question that kind of just popped into my mind. What does LeBron have to do? And since we have time, I'll just ask it. What does LeBron have to do in the rest of his career to kind of slot himself into that conversation? For most basketball fans, I mean, for some people he's already there, but to slot himself into that conversation for number 1 and kind of make himself the undisputed number 2 player of all time, what does he have to do?
You got to get that ring.
The rings, right?
You got to get that ring with the Lakers. Got to get it.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with Stacey. To me, it's getting that ring with your third team. You're trying to beat Kawhi Leonard to be the first person to do it. Getting that ring with the Lakers would be huge, would be big. So I think he really needs to get there in order for me to propel him forward.
Yeah, I would agree. I think if he wins that ring in LA, I'll allow the conversation to happen.
I'll allow it.
I still don't necessarily know if I would take him over MJ. I mean, you look at his record in the finals.
Oh, I thought we were second. I thought we were.
Yeah, I was kind of undisputed top 2, but to kind of slot himself into that conversation alongside MJ for number 1 all time.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I said, if he wins a ring, I'll allow the conversation. I really don't think anything he can do is gonna put him over the top unless he wins out for the rest of his career. Obviously, that would be ridiculous. I just think his past records are not the best. I don't know. I just it's gonna be really hard to beat MJ, man.
If he passes Kareem for most points all time, do you think that puts him number 2, undisputed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, that kind of just popped in my head. It's my little tangent. Jordan, I'll let you take the reins again.
Awesome. We'll end it off as we always do with the mystery player debate. We've been doing some classic players lately, so we're going to go back and do some modern-day players. So these are stats for these guys for this year. We're going to get right at it with player A. Both these guys are point guards, by the way. Player A is getting 35.1 minutes a game. He's scoring 18.2 points, 7.5 assists, 3.4 rebounds, and a steal per game. He's shooting 38.2% from the field and 37.3% from deep. Player B, also a point guard, he is playing in 34.3 minutes a game. He's averaging 18 points, 4.4 rebounds, 4.1 assists, and a steal. He's shooting the ball a little bit better at 42.3% from the field and 40.7% from deep. Who you guys taking, and who do you think they are?
How in today's game are you shooting below 40% overall?
That's brutal. That's terrible.
Oh,
that's
my
embarrassing.
God.
I don't know who that is, but that's
I'm
awful.
taking player B. Give me player B.
Me too. 41%
man.
from deep. That's crazy. That's it.
So we got 2 for player B. Mike, who you taking?
Man, I'm still looking at it a little bit.
He's trying to figure out who they are.
I'm still looking at it a little bit. Because, I mean, I see the 38% from the field. I see that. That's glaring. But I'm looking at the assists, too, though. So he having about 3 more assists, which means he's more of a true point guard. Player B. Man, I'm going to just be that dude. I'm going to go play A. I'm going to go different. I'm going to go play A. I like them assists. The assists really stuck out to me.
Okay. Any
The
guesses on
assist
who they
numbers
are?
are crazy though. The assist numbers are
Yeah, that was
something I was looking at too.
Good.
Is one of these guys De'Aaron Fox?
No.
Okay.
Are they in the Eastern Conference?
Yes.
Both of them?
Yes.
Both of them in the East at 18 points a game. Okay.
I want to say
But
I
you
don't
know,
know
with my
which,
track record, I'm literally triple checking that right now.
Okay. I'm looking at the rosters now.
I
Snack him, but
I don't know which one, but I want to say one of these players is Fred VanVleet.
No.
No, neither one.
Neither one.
Because he was averaging 18.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was. But,
I do have a hint, but I want to wait to give it a little bit because it definitely just gives it away.
Okay, wait. Can I guess that? Is one of these guys D Rose?
No.
D
That was a
Rose
good guess,
averaging
too.
around 18 too, though. I think.
Yeah.
Man.
Is one of these guys Malcolm Brogdon?
No.
Ooh,
Okay.
that was a good guess though. He was
I thought he was the guy
Shoots
with the
way better
42% from 3. I'm talking about the 42% guy.
Do you guys want a hint?
damn 38% from the field. Who is that? Yeah,
what's
sure.
What's the game?
Both of these point guards are on the same team.
Really?
Yes. That was my reaction too.
On the same team.
Is this? Oh no, it's not them. It can't be them. Is one of them Colin Sexton?
No.
All right, it's not them. Okay, I was going to say Garland doesn't average that many points.
Nah, not quite.
Not quite.
He's like 15 or something, I think.
So they're both at 18 a game,
And they're both 35 minutes?
Yes.
right? That's what I'm saying. Because
Is one of these players Kendrick Nunn?
No. That's a good guess, though.
hey, is it Damn, it can't be. They're not both. He's not a point guard. I was gonna say is one of them Dinwiddie.
No.
Levert's not a point guard either way.
You said they Eastern Conference, right? Eastern Conference.
Man, you sure, yo? Because I'm looking at
I triple check. They are Eastern Conference. They are definitely Eastern Conference.
Okay, I'm just going to run through all the Eastern Conference teams.
Yeah, I'm
There's
looking at the
no
squads, and I'm like, yo.
Another
Wait.
hint.
Nah.
No. This is like Dennis Schroeder and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or CP3 and Shai
He said the
Gilgeous-Alexander.
East, though.
I know, but I know he's wrong.
It is the East. I quadruple checked it. It says blank place in Eastern Conference.
Wait. Is one of them Devontae Graham?
One of them is Devontae Graham.
All right, so it's Devontae Graham and freaking Terry Rozier.
Terry Rozier averaging 38% from the field.
No, Devontae Graham is averaging 38.2% from the field.
Rozier's averaging.
That's bad.
And now that you say it, now their stats make sense. Because Graham passes more, he's a little bit smaller. Rozier, Scary Terry, he scores more. Forrest says, I can see that. That makes more sense.
I made the right choice.
You stand by it?
Yeah, I'm Scary Terry.
Scary Terry dunking on LeBron right there.
Hey, give me Graham. Devontae popped out this year. Give me Graham.
He did have a very, very big year.
38% from the field, though? How is that even possible?
I can't
That's
take
inexcusable.
That.
That's inexcusable.
Hey, he's young. He's still young. Give him some time.
Ja Morant is young and he's shooting better than that.
He's shooting 50%.
Devontae Graham's 25. He ain't that young.
He is 25. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't get that.
I'm okay.
He was at Kansas for a long time.
I'm okay with it. He make up for it with the assists. He get others involved and shit.
And honestly, his 3-point percentage is good. Like that's a strong.
Yeah, that's good.
That's
and
where
I
most
feel
of
like
coming from.
I feel like he
else.
shoots more threes than Terry Rozier. I feel like he shoots more threes than Terry
Yeah.
Rozier. Man.
And
I'm guessing.
To have this essentially the same 3-point percentage and field goal percentage, how many layups is he missing?
Yeah, so Devontae Graham is taking 9 to Terry Rozier's 6.7 a game.
Yeah, so I'm all right. I'm all right with it. I'll take it. We'll get that percentage up. We'll get it up.
So you stand by Devontae Graham, Michael?
I'm standing with Devontae Graham, man. I'm standing with my pick.
Okay, Stacey and Ben, do you guys stand with T-Row?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think both picks are respectable, though.
Yeah, I mean, Devontae Graham had a hell of a year. He's definitely in the conversations for most improved. I feel like this year we saw so many breakout players.
We did, yeah.
Like
Christian Wood, like who
Brandon
are these guys?
Ingram.
Right? Yeah, awesome year for the NBA. I mean, we saw Kendrick Nunn as well.
Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, it was a great year for the NBA.
Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was 6th season.
Awesome. So that was a good mystery player debate. I loved your reactions when I told you that they were on the same team. You guys were all like, oh, man.
Should have been Fred VanVleet.
And Kyle Lowry. That was my first guess. Like,
Ooh.
I am never going to say they're on conference again, just so you guys understand that. I don't think you understand how embarrassing that was. But I had to leave it in and not cut it out because it was just too funny.
Got you.
Never happened again. Memphis is in the West. Got it this time. Never again. All right, that's going to do it for the Crown Hoops podcast for episode number 41. My name is Jordan Daly. With me this week, we had Stacey Collier, Ben Okazawa, and Mike White. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.